Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel, or if this is your first time here, welcome on in. Today, we're reacting to Gnar, the Missing Link, for the very first time. All right, if this is your first time here, what we do is we take a look at the story and biography first for our champion, then we take a look at their abilities, look to see if there's any cinematics, then we move on to the skins, the wiki, and the voice lines at the very end of the video. And I'll have everything chaptered out at the bottom if you want to go ahead and skip ahead to any of those specific parts, but I would love it if you guys were here to stick around for the whole thing. All right, guys, let me tell you what I know about Gnar. I do know Gnar does get bigger. That's like one of his abilities, right? Like that's kind of the core thing about Gnar. The other thing I know is, well, a Yordle, obviously, but Gnar is definitely like a different Yordle than all of them, right? Like I know nothing about why Gnar is the way they are, but we're going to find out, I guess today, right? Why Gnar is this way and why Gnar is so different from the other Yordles. All right. Our quote literally says Gnar. Yeah. I guess I know partly that. I don't think Gnar really says many words. I'm not sure though. Rola's fighter region is the Freljord. Oh, interesting. Not Bandle City. And then we have related champions are Nunu and Willump and Rengar. Oh, that is, see, okay. And no related champions to any of the other Yordles. This is interesting. Yeah, I'm very much like in the blind a little bit on Gnar's background. All right. The paragraph says Gnar is an excitable Yordle whose playful antics can erupt into a toddler's outrage in an instant, transforming him into a massive beast bent on destruction. Frozen in true ice for millennia. Oh, the curious creature broke free and now hops about a changed world he sees as exotic and wondrous. Delighted by danger, Gnar flings whatever he can at his enemies, be it his bone tooth, boomerang, or an uprooted tree. Oh, so Gnar like throws things as well. Okay, so literally Gnar is like caveman, frozen in ice, but for a Yordle is essentially what we got here. Okay, that's explaining some things here as to why Gnar is obviously so different. All right, let's read the biography. Before the ice had given the Freljord its name, there existed a land brimming with wonder. That is, if one could see the world through the eyes of Gnar. A young Yordle with boundless energy, Gnar and others like him lived openly among the hardy tribes of the Northlands. Though barely big enough to leave footprints in the snow, his temper rivaled that of beasts 10 times his size, and he would erupt with a babble of curses the moment anything went amiss. For this reason, he felt more kinship with the greater and wiser creatures who kept their distance from mortals. To Gnar, they looked like overgrown, white-furred Yordles, and that was good enough for him. While the tribes foraged across the tundra gathering wild berries and tasty moss, Gnar collected more essential items like rocks, pebbles, and the muddy remains of dead birds. His greatest treasure was the jawbone of a Druvask. When he tugged it from the cold earth, he squealed with glee and flung it as far as he could. It landed 2 hops away. Thrilled by this early success, Gnar carried his boomerang wherever he went. The world would try its best to offer him new delights, shiny lint, sweet nectar, round things, but none could match the pure joy he felt in throwing and catching his cherished weapon. He now considered himself a hunter and trailed herds of wild beasts that paid him no mind. But even he could sense change coming to the land. The sky seemed darker, the winds felt colder. The mortal tribes who had once foraged together now appeared to hunt each other. Oh, even Gnar is noticing a change. The big white Yordles would know what to do. Gnar would go to them. Using all of his hunting skills, he tracked them into the snow-capped peaks of a vast mountain range, much farther than he had ever wandered before. As he approached unseen, he also saw more mortals than he could count. This was exciting, but no one else seemed too happy about it. Then the ground shook and split apart. For the first time in Gnar's life, it seemed as though everyone else was throwing tantrums. The mortals yelled, the big Yordles roared, but the monster's arrival silenced them all. Heaving itself up from the newly opened abyss, it bore huge horns, whipping tentacles, and a single eye, burning with strange light that made the fur on Gnar's back crawl. Oh, is this Vel'Koz coming out, or is it just a void in general? While some mortals fled at the sight, he began to feel an odd pain in his chest. It was like the thought of losing his boomerang or never being hugged again. Oh, wow. This horrible thing wanted to hurt his new friends. And this made him angry. In that moment, Gnar truly raged. All he could see was the monster. In a flash, he was in the air, leaping toward it. In one paw, he grasped a snowball, or so he thought. In fact, it was a boulder plucked from the mountainside, for Gnar had grown as large as the big white Yordles. He would send this monster back where it came from by walloping its face. But the blow never landed. Gnar felt a chill colder than any winter, one that seemed to turn the air itself into ice. Truly, this elemental magic froze him in place, biting through his shaggy fur. Everything, including the monster, became quiet. The Yordle's strength and anger melted away. A deep tiredness crept into his limbs, and he fell softly asleep. So this elemental magic literally froze Gnar in place, and then I guess we're going to find out how Gnar becomes unfrozen. Gnar napped for a long time. When he finally awoke, he shook the frost from his shoulders, breathing heavily. Everyone else was gone. With no monsters to fight and no friends to protect, he felt very small and alone again. The land was very different too. There was snow everywhere, blanketing everything as far as his wide eyes could see. Still, he let out a happy yelp when he saw his beloved boomerang lying beside him and scurried away to find something to hunt. Even now, Gnar has no grasp of what took place that fateful day, nor how he escaped. He simply marvels at the world before him, with so many oddities to collect and places to explore. Yeah, so I'm actually wondering, is that Vel'Koz that came out? I mean, the way they describe it, I'm sure there are actually other void-like beings, though, that might have some similarity. It just says, well, it says it bore huge horns, whipping tentacles and a single eye. I don't remember Vel'Koz having horns, so I'm going to say no on the Vel'Koz. It's just going to be the Watchers, right? But yeah, so that's essentially what happens. That's so interesting. He was around during that time, which was so long ago, and now he's just awoken after taking a very long nap. Okay, there's a lot of mention of his boomerang in this. I don't think I've actually seen Gnar's boomerang, so that is actually something I don't know about Gnar. All right, Gnar actually has a story which is cool. It's called The Hunter Hunted. Okay, the jungle does not forgive blindness. Every broken branch tells a story. I've hunted every creature this jungle has to offer. I was certain there was no challenges left, but now there is something new. Each track is the size of a tusk lord. Its claws like scimitars. It could rend a man in half. Finally, worthy prey. As I stalk my prize through the jungle, I begin to see the damage that this thing has wrought. I step into a misshapen circle of splintered trees. These giant wooden sentinels have stood over this land for countless ages, their iron-like hides untouched by the flimsy axes of anyone foolish enough to attempt to cut them down. This thing brushed them aside like they were twigs. Okay, I already know what this story is going to be about. It's going to be like a hunter trying to hunt Gnar, and then they're going to see Gnar, but like in a little small form, probably, right? How can a creature with this level of strength disappear so easily? And yet, even though it has left this unmistakable trail of destruction, I've been unable to lay my eye upon it. How can it appear like a hurricane, then fade into the jungle like the morning mist? I thrill in anticipation of finally standing before this creature. It will make a tremendous trophy. Passing through the clearing, I follow the sound of a stream to get my bearings once more. There I see a small shock of orange fur, crouching, waiting. I spy on it from a distance. A tiny fish splashes out of the stream and the creature scrambles for it, diving gleefully into the rushing water. To my joy, I realize it's a Yordle, and a hunter at that. This is a good omen. The beast will be found. Nothing will escape me. The Yordle's large ears perk up and face toward me. Ooh. He runs on all fours with a bone boomerang in hand, quickly stopping in front of me. He babbles. I nod in appreciation at the young Yordle and venture onward. I traverse the difficult terrain with ease, trying to pick up any sign of my quarry. As I try to pick up his scent, a distraction. I'm startled by strange chittering. The Yordle followed me. I cannot allow him to disrupt my hunt. I face him and point into the distance. He looks at me quizzically. I need to be more insistent. Good omen or no? I rear back and let out a roar, the wind whipping the Yordle's fur and the ground rumbling beneath us. After a few short seconds, he turns his head, and with what I think could be a smile, he holds up his small boomerang. There can be no further delay. I snatch the weapon out of his hand and expertly throw it into a tree, impaling it high amongst the branches. He turns and scrambles for it, jumping frantically. I barely get 10 paces when a roar shakes me to my very spine. The deafening crack of stone and wood echoes all around. Ahead, a giant tree crashes across my path. The bone weapon of the Yordle juts out from its trunk. An unearthly growl rises behind me. I've made a terrible mistake. Okay, this was written very well, though. This is like very fun to show the inner thinkings of this hunter. And they're like, wait a minute, this isn't just a small Yordle. That's actually cool. I think it also goes to show when people don't see Gnar as the big scary monster, what people's general thoughts are of when they see Gnar. They're just like, oh, it's a tiny Yordle. It's just a regular old Yordle who seems like they're young and probably acts like a child. So they don't think any other thoughts about them. It's just a small Yordle. But then they realize Gnar is more than that, right? All right, let's go ahead and move on to Gnar's abilities. I'm curious. All right, let's look at Gnar's abilities. This is the first time in a while we've had difficulty high for a champion on this screen. Now, I know this doesn't necessarily mean everything. You know, there will be some champions that says like medium, but they're actually really easy. But all right, role is fighter tank. Abilities. Okay, so we have Rage Gene is the passive. While in combat, Gnar generates rage. At maximum rage, his next ability will transform him into Mega Gnar, granting increased survivability and access to new spells. Okay. Pretty simple passive. Boomerang throw and boulder toss. Oh, okay, so it's a boomerang throw when he's small, and then it's got to be a boulder toss probably when he's big. I'm still watching. Okay, they don't show it. Gnar throws a boomerang that damages and slows enemies it hits before returning to him. Yeah, I've never knew that Gnar had a boomerang, I will say. If he catches the boomerang, its cooldown is reduced. Mega Gnar instead throws a boulder that stops on the first unit hit, damaging and slowing everything nearby. It can then be picked up to reduce the cooldown. Oh, that's cool. You can even pick up the boulder again. I like the, I don't know if the right word is synchronicity there. Basically, like throwing the boomerang and then catching it, right, it reduces the cooldown. But they almost do the same thing with the boulder. If you throw the boulder and then go pick it up again, it's like reducing the cooldown again. It's kind of cool that it works both ways. Okay, so then we have Hyper and Wallop. Okay, it looks like he's just throwing like knives or something. Gnar's attacks and spells hype him up, dealing bonus damage and granting him move speed. Mega Gnar is too enraged to be hyper and instead can rear up on his hind legs and smash down on the area in front of him, stunning enemies in an area. I wish they were showing this in the video here, but we are going to watch the Wild Rift video after this just to actually see more of the abilities. Next up is Hop Crunch. Let's see the hop. Oh, he literally hops on top of him. He's a little nimble guy. Gnar leaps to a location and bounces off the head of any unit he lands on, traveling further. Mega Gnar is too large to bounce and instead lands with earth-shattering force, dealing damage in an area around him. Okay, it's a little bit like Wallop in the sense that like he's kind of jumping and landing down on an area. I guess Wallop stuns people in an area. It's more like a cone probably. This one's more like an AoE. All right, and then we have Gnar as the ultimate. Okay, we're seeing Gnar in his big form. It looks like he like shoves them against the wall. Let's see. Mega Gnar throws everything around him in a chosen direction, dealing damage and slowing them. Any enemy that hits a wall is stunned and takes bonus damage. Okay, so he just basically throws everything in one direction. Cool. I mean, yeah, I could see... I guess the high difficulty probably comes from like kind of knowing when to go big or kind of knowing when to, or like, you know, the boomerang throw and boulder toss is obviously a little bit of a harder difficulty just in general because you have to either catch the boomerang or go get your boulder. There's just a lot more nuance with how to play this character. So that's probably why they're on the high difficulty. Okay, guys, I know I'm still going to watch the Wild Rift video, but I want to ask this after seeing all the abilities. You know, Gnar came out, I think 11 plus years ago at this point. So let me know how Gnar was when Gnar first came out into the game. How has he transformed? How has he gotten better or worse? Like, where is he in the current meta? I'd love to hear all of that stuff. Yeah, like how is Gnar in current meta? Is he still used pretty regularly or is he kind of on the weaker side right now? All right, and this is pretty good timing. So the Gnar Wild Rift video came out about 8 months ago. So let's just dive in. This is Gnar's champion overview in Wild Rift. Gnar, gada. He really talks like a baby, huh? I'm wondering what the voice lines are going to be. So I guess we didn't get into how long he's like stays in big form. I guess just once the rage runs out. Okay, so deal or take damage to generate rage. At max rage, transform into Mega Gnar. So you have to be at max rage. Mini Gnar, gain attack range, move, and attack speed. That's just also part of the passive. Okay. And then Mega Gnar, you gain health, attack damage, armor, and magic resist. So yeah, that's where the tankiness comes in, obviously. But you, depending on what items you bring, probably can turn him into fighter or tank. Okay, there's the boomerang throw. We know about that. And here's the boulder. Ooh, okay. Oh, that really slowed down Rengar. You pick it up again. That's cool. I like being able to pick up the boulder again. Get hyped by stacking attacks or ability casts. This is Hyper passive. Hyper deals bonus magic damage and gains move speed. When it's active, gain bonus attack speed. Okay. So this is all about attack speed and move speed and all that. Mega Gnar, smash down. Oh, okay. Gain move speed when changing from Mega to Mini. Ooh. Yeah, so there's a lot of different things you need to learn for Gnar for playing him. Leap to location, bounce off targets to go further. Okay. Deals damage and slows for just a little bit, it looks like. Yeah, that one's just like a jump in a whole big circle. Okay, the passive for the ult, gain move speed. Knock back nearby enemies in a target direction. Okay, there you go. It moves them pretty far, too. Yeah, throw enemies into a wall. Makes sense. Obviously, with that ability, you're probably always going to try to move them into a wall if you're able to. Find joy in your rage. I mean, based on Gnar here and like his abilities, I have no idea what Gnar said. Gnar looks fun, and it looks like, you know, your tank players out there would probably use Gnar. Like, Gnar looks useful, looks pretty good. Now, obviously, I don't know because I haven't really played the game in, I don't know, since I last tried it, maybe like 2 years ago with some people in chat. But I think based on what I'm seeing, Gnar doesn't seem too bad. Gnar seems like a pretty good tank, actually. But of course, let me know in the comments, everybody, because I want to know how good Gnar is. And yeah. Okay, we do actually have a Gnar cinematic. We're going to do the Curious Journey trailer, Legends of Runeterra. I've watched this before. It's called Beyond the Bandlewood, but I see Gnar is a, you know, big participant in this video. And I have seen it, but it's been a while. So I kind of want to watch this again to get a refresher.
If you're not ready for everything, you're not ready for anything.
Yeah, so we get to see Gnar here. Gnar! That's an innocent little Bandle scout. I mean, is this just showing that Gnar literally can't control himself? Yumi showing up too. Oh, Gnar goes in the book.
Best adventures are usually the ones you never expected to take.
Now, okay. I mean, this is confirmation, right? That Gnar...
So, I think it's okay to not have all the answers.
...has come to Bandle City at some point.
You just need the courage to keep looking.
If this is Bandle City, I can't tell. Or this is just where the Bandle Scouts are. I guess this isn't Bandle City.
Oh, and friends to keep you out of trouble while you
Gnar is really tiny if you look at Gnar compared to the other Yordles.
I should wait to see
okay.
where the next
Not really.
journey leads.
That's a cute little animation. I kind of feel like they need to do more animations like this, or with this art style. Okay, so yeah, we know about this. This is just an expansion for Legends of Runeterra. There's also another video, so we'll watch that. Yeah, so then we have his actual reveal, and so let's go ahead and take a look at what abilities they give Gnar. It's a cute splash art. Gnar has a teensy anger problem. Oh, the voice lines are going to be ridiculous. I can't even understand them. Okay, so 4 mana for a 3/3 with quick attack. Strike, create a pokey stick in hand, or if you have one, reduce its cost by 1, and level up. Round end, you've damaged the enemy nexus this round. Okay, that's pretty simple, actually. Well, I say that, but okay. And then I'm curious what the level up animation will be. Yeah, it would make sense Gnar doesn't know language either, like the rest of our Yordles, perhaps. Oh, I like that. Okay, and then it's Mega Gnar. When I level up, grant the strongest enemy vulnerable. Round end, if you've seen, or if I've seen you start the round with the attack token, transform me back into Gnar. Oh, okay. So it's basically like a 2-turn, 1-turn thing. Gnar stays big, and then obviously runs out of time, and then goes back to small Gnar. That's cool. Chief Nakotak. There you go, back to small Gnar. That's cool. I like how they worked the card in. I can tell the voice lines part of this video is going to be great, guys. Make sure to stick around for that.
You are no longer a kobold, friend.
Ooh, dear. Yeah, it's interesting also that Gnar knows more about the Frail Yord than he does, like, your typical Bandle City Yordle stuff. Because obviously he just, you know, Bandle City probably didn't even exist back when Gnar was alive. I don't know. Okay, there's some of our other cards to go along with Gnar. You guys that are still playing Legends of Runeterra, please let me know how Gnar is working in your decks and whatnot. I'd love to know. All right, we also have Gnar's login screen. It's been a while since we've done a login screen because it's usually like for the other skins or like the champion's too old and they didn't have a login screen yet, but we actually have one for Gnar. So here we go, 2.5 minutes. I'm curious what we're gonna get with Gnar. Yeah, it's not even in 1080p, only 720. Hold on. I'm liking whatever instrument this is. Okay, it's kind of upbeat. I don't know. How could you describe this kind of music? Like wilderness music? Like a creature that lives in a forest or a jungle. That's kind of what it's giving, I guess. But I don't know what's giving it that exactly. Maybe it's like these drums or whatever. What is that flute, too? Okay. What is that instrument? It sounds like somebody just on like a bucket, hitting it with like a drumstick. Oh. We changed the notes. It's almost like sneaky. This is totally different than all our themes. I feel like. I like the way they're using the flute or piccolo in this too. Wow. Okay, that, I don't know what to say, but it felt very Gnar. Like it, I mean, I don't know. It's just because Gnar like grew up out in the wild. He didn't grow up like in the city, like Bandle City or anything like that. So maybe it's giving just kind of like a creature or a person that, you know, grew up in the wild. He never lived in the city or in a home or whatever. He kind of was just always living out here in the wild and hunting. That's the music it kind of gave. I don't know what they were playing. It wasn't obviously like a regular drum, but it sounded like, you know, like somebody would be, you know how like there's music performers sometimes out in the street that will like play on like buckets or whatever. They'll like use drumsticks or use some sort of thing to beat on the buckets. It kind of sounded like that, but obviously it was probably a legitimate instrument. And then the flute or the piccolo or whatever it was, recorder, sounded really cool as well. And then we had a couple of moments where it just got really loud, really big. And yeah, no, this was a perfect song for Gnar in my opinion. I want to hear you guys' thoughts though on the login screen. I thought it was really good and I think it was perfect for Gnar. All right, everybody, time for Gnar's skins. I'm curious what we're going to get. I feel like they could do something pretty fun. So let's go ahead and start off here. It looks like the first one is going to be called T1 Gnar. Ah, the trophy and everything. Oh, and the signature. That's a cool recall. Okay. I'm usually like okay about some of the like team skins because, you know, I don't have any skin in the game. I don't actually watch competitive league or anything, but this looks, I've never seen this splash art before. I don't think this must be pretty recent maybe. And honestly, these skins look really, really good. The red and black goes really well together. All right, let's see the rest of the skin though. Boomerang looks cool. Now, I wonder if, like, does the boulder change? I do like the noise. That's interesting. It looks like a batarang a little bit there, actually. Oh, yeah. All the sound effects are cool. You see some, like, red lightning coming off Gnar as well. For a team skin, this is pretty good, in my opinion, because, honestly, sometimes the team skins are just, you know, they're not bad. It's just, like, you know, you obviously want to get them if you're, like, a huge fan of the team. But okay, this is pretty good. Oh, that was cool. Yeah, I'm liking all of that. Oh, is the recall different when you're in... He tried to eat it and then he put it on his head. Okay, hold on. That recall was insanely good. Okay, so it looks like there's 2 recalls depending on what form you're in. Okay, we have the Illusion Gnar. Hold on. Did I just see a little, oh my god, what's the little small animal on top of Gnar's head? I forget what it's called. Okay, anyways, I love how vibrant the skin is already. Super cool colors. It's almost like Gnar's glowing here. Kind of looks like a piñata. A little bit. I mean, Gnar probably wouldn't like me saying that about him. No longer looks like a piñata. The tail is interesting. Ooh, I like that roar. Dang, okay. The first two skins are kind of popping off. These are really good so far. I honestly don't have any complaints, I don't think. Let's see the recall. Oh, that's cool. Actual music being played during the recall? That's really cool, actually. I like that one. Let's see the other. Same thing. Oh. I was going to say, probably can't play as well. Okay, that was cool. I like that there's two different recalls. Hold on. Hello? Elderwood Gnar. I'm like, wait a minute. Looking a little like Kindred there with the mask. Alright, I've seen some Elderwood skins in the past. They've been pretty solid. I think I've picked one or two before to be in the top 3, like of my picks. I mean, you guys will have to let me know what your favorite Gnar skin is in the comments for sure. I think this one's pretty good. No complaints. The boulder's interesting. So the boulder does have a look to it. It had like some bones around it. Or what is that? Yeah. All right. Oh. Oh. Is that a Demacian helmet? What is that? Oh, what was that he grabbed? Okay. Alright. See Gnar? They do the same thing with Gnar, but he smashes it out. Rips the stump out. Okay. I love the two different like personalities there. Oh, this is an adorable splash art. Astronaut Gnar. That's Poppy back there. I don't think I've seen that. I feel like I don't remember seeing that splash art. Maybe I did. All right, the astronaut skins I have definitely picked many times. Because I love the little alien guy that they usually give them. But I don't see a little alien guy with Gnar, I don't think. The sound effects are cool. Ooh, do I like Big Gnar here? Oh, they made... Okay, they made Big Gnar like an alien instead of giving Gnar like a little alien guy. Okay, that kind of works. That works for me. I'm a big fan of the astronaut skins. I think that one's really good. Wait, excuse me? Did Gnar just eat one? What? Okay, what are they going to do with Big Gnar? Okay, Gnar's just going to also eat that one. Why is Gnar eating the aliens? What is this? SSG Gnar. Okay, we got another team skin. But these, okay, there's something about these team skins where I feel like they're going the extra, I don't know, the extra length. Whatever. What am I trying to say? You guys know what I'm trying to say. They're doing a little bit more with these team skins than I'd say some other champs. Maybe some of those other ones have been a little old for sure. But, like, this looks cool. I mean, he looks like a different, complete animal. Yeah, and then the colors and everything work really well together for the team and everything. And then also, you know, they're getting like color changes and some ability sounds to them. So I think this is overall pretty solid as well. I guess I'm curious what the recall is. Some bananas drop. And then you get a signature as well in this. Yeah, like I don't remember like signatures being in any of the other ones. So that's what I'm saying. Like it seems like they definitely went an extra step in this one. Okay. Some of the last recalls have all been about Gnar just eating. That's great. Oh, what is this? Super Galaxy Gnar. It's giving Rocket Raccoon, huh? At least that's my first thought. What is he throwing? Is he throwing guns? It looks like a gun almost. No, it's a boomerang. Okay. It's like a space boomerang. Okay, I mean, he looks really cool, especially because of the fact that it reminds me of Rocket Raccoon. He's literally got clothes on. The splash art shows him piloting, like, what looks like a ship. Oh, okay. The Big Gnar is crazy different than what I thought. I like it, but it's not what I expected. You know what I mean? He turned into a giant robot. Or unless it's just a suit, I guess, I suppose. I mean, that's still cool. I like it. See the recall? Why are you eating your own gun? And then stomping on it. Oh, and then it shot the spiders behind him. That's pretty funny. I like it. All right. What about this one? Okay. Oh, he's got a power drill. Okay. I don't know if that was a reference to something. It felt like it might have been a reference. El Leon Gnar. We got a wrestling Gnar. Really? They did wrestling Gnar because they wanted to do like the big version. It would like make sense as a wrestler, I suppose. What is his? It's a wrench? A pipe? It's a pipe. Is he like supposed to be a? He looks like he's supposed to be like a thief or a robber with that outfit. All right, big version. Oh yeah, he's got no shirt on. He's got some wrestling shorts on. Maybe some wrestling pants, actually. Okay. I feel like there's not many wrestling skins in the game, so there's got to be some overlap, too, with, like, wrestling and League players. I'm sure they would enjoy this one. All the recalls have been really fun, I will say. He caught it like a dog there. Come on, let's see some wrestling moves. Something. Oh, what? They didn't really do anything with that one. He didn't do anything at all. Okay. And, of course, we always got to get a Freljord skin. Snow Day Gnar. Nice. Oh, this looks fun. Yeah, most characters have your like, winter skin or Freljord skin. So I figured we'd get one for Gnar. And it actually works for him since he was in the Freljord. I know they'll do it for some characters that were never even in the Freljord and stuff, but... Oh. Oh, I like all the, like, snowy ice effects. Oh, it throws a frozen Pengu? Okay, hold on. I actually really like that. See, I'm telling you, they did some extra special stuff with Gnar on, like, all of these skins. They're really being creative on these. Gnar's face is just cracking me up. Oh, here we go again. We got a little snowman. Oh, that's a fun recall, man. The skin itself, I would say, is just okay, but like the recall, the boulder, made it really good. I think it really did. That's a really solid skin. Definitely would use that during the winter time. We have Gentleman Gnar. We've seen a lot of gentleman skins. Not a lot, I guess a decent amount. He has a monocle, yeah, and a top hat, and a suit. What? I feel like Gentleman Gnar is kind of... Oh, I like the pocket watch being thrown. Okay, hold on. I was going to say it's a little weird because, like, why would we have Gentleman Gnar? That's, like, the complete opposite. But I guess that makes sense, possibly why Riot did it. But I do like the pocket watch being thrown. Now, Giant Gnar throws the top of a clock tower. Or Big Ben. I don't think it's supposed to specifically be Big Ben, but that's pretty cool. Again, they're very creative with the boulders being thrown and the recalls because they had to make 2 recalls, right? Oh. Dude. Okay, this is actually making things difficult because the recalls are so good for all of them. I think because the recalls are so good for almost literally every skin, I have to really choose based on... I guess either the boulders or like just the skin itself. What is this? Dino Gnar? Okay. Is this the last one? It is the last one. This is basically like Pajama Party Gnar. Essentially. What is he throwing? Is it just a regular boomerang? What is that? A worm? What? No. Oh, okay. It's just a regular boomerang. It just looks weird when he was throwing it. I think we've seen a couple of other dino skins, like dino pajamas or whatever. Oh. And then he legitimately becomes a dino. Okay. And he throws, it looks like just a part of a building. Or no, it looks like, yeah. If you know the Rampage games, that's kind of what that reminds me of. The boulder being thrown. It's a cute skin. I think it's fun. Oh, the little blocks. LOL. Dude, I'm telling you, every recall is so good. What the heck? And then let's see this one. Yeah, even that reminds me of Rampage. Maybe that's what their inspiration was. Because there would be like a helicopters and stuff that would attack you. Guys, this was insanely good amount of skins here. And like I said, I think we didn't really have a bad skin. I kind of want to say there wasn't a single bad skin here. A lot of the time, I don't want to say that like some of the champs have a bad skin, but you know, some of those like super early skins are just obviously they look a little outdated. They haven't been revamped or anything, and they didn't do much with them. They just had the skin. There was like no extra stuff done to the recall or abilities. But in this one, they did stuff to the abilities and the recalls. So that's why I'm like, this is a lot better than what I'm used to anyways. Okay, guys, so I think I'm gonna have to go based off of like what the skin looked like and what I enjoyed about them, because the recalls, it has to be a tie because every single skin had a good recall in my opinion, and it's just too hard to pick based on the recalls. So let's see, I'm gonna go based off of the skin. All right, I hate to be that guy, but for the sake of not being a fan or whatever of either of the teams, SSG or T1, I'm not going to pick them for the skins because I feel like it's a cop out. Okay, so the first one I'm going to pick is literally going to be Super Galaxy Gnar. While I didn't like the big aspect of Gnar that much, I think I did like it overall because, again, it reminded me of Rocket Raccoon, and I'm a big fan of Rocket Raccoon, who isn't. So I think Super Galaxy Gnar is really, really good. I think the recalls are pretty good as well. I think Astronaut Gnar as well. I think the recalls, I know I don't want to say the recalls like... okay, the recalls are helping this one a little bit. It's a really good skin actually overall, but the recalls just make me like have to pick it because him eating the aliens is hilarious in both of the recalls. And last but not least, you know what? It's so basic, but I'm going with Snow Day Gnar. I just literally think Snow Day Gnar is like really fun, and it just reminds you of, I guess, winter time. And if you're a fan of winter, I think this is a really, really good skin because of the whole like the Pengu boulder being thrown and then the snowman recall. I think that's really, really fun. So those are my top 3, but let me know what your favorite skin is for Gnar in the comments. All right, if we take a look at the trivia for Gnar in game, it says Gnar, Elise, Nidalee, Jace, and Kayle are the only champions to be conditionally considered both ranged and melee. Gnar's concept is built on monstrous transformations in fiction coupled with the fish out of water trope. Inspirations include Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and the Hulk but from the Marvel Comics. Paleontologically speaking, Gnar is not a missing link, i.e. transitional specimen, but he belongs to the Yordle population ancestral to modern ones. Colloquially speaking, he is the great-great-grand-uncle of all living Yordles. In the Brazilian localization, Gnar's title was changed to O Yordle Prehistorico, the prehistoric Yordle, in order to avoid matchmaking, rating, associated jokes, bullying derived from the missing link. Okay, I'm not sure what that is. You guys can let me know more about that in the comments if you want. Gnar is the second champion to have 2 champion portraits, so Mini Gnar and Mega Gnar, the first being Quinn and Valor. Oh, okay. He is also the third to have more than one chat name, the first being Anivia and Eggnivia, and the second being anyone polymorphed by Lulu, as well as the 7th champion to have more than 4 abilities, the others being Elise, Heimerdinger, Jace, Karma, Nidalee, Lee Sin, Rek'Sai, and York. Mini Gnar has the fewest active abilities of any ranged champion. Hyper and Gnar are fully passive effects, and the third lowest health at level 18 at 1883. Okay. Mega Gnar has his own separate emotes from Mini Gnars. Yeah, we kind of discovered that with the recalls. His dance references Donkey Kong. Oh, that totally makes sense. Boulder Toss's projectile is shaped like the Riot Games Inc. logo. Oh. And then Gnar's Series 2 Eternals makes the following references. I don't know what this Series 2 is, but Clobber in Time is a reference to the Thing from Fantastic Four. Right. Mega Gnar has the highest level 18 base attack damage as Mega Gnar. Although patch V7.16 made it so the portrait of the selected skin would be used in the central portion of the in-game UI, transforming into Mega Gnar always uses his base portrait for all skins. Hop has the shortest ability name at 3 characters long. And then for contrast, Lifeform Disintegration Ray is the longest ability name at 28 characters long, exceeding Hop by 25 characters. These facts they're crazy. These facts are so funny to me because they're like actually very specific and very like in depth and in detail, that like it's stuff that you wouldn't even think of. Like, I understand that Hop is the shortest ability name at 3 characters long, but it's so crazy that we also want to include what the longest one is. But no, it's really cool. It's like looking at like a fact sheet for the character in League. So I'm really not complaining. All right, folks, on to the wiki. Let's see, what do we have here? So aliases is the missing link. He's been given the nickname Little Furry Cave Thing from Cassante. Species Yordle. Age at least 9,996 years old. Born earlier than 9,000 BN. Weapons are Rage Gene, Boomerang, and Boulder. Yeah, unnamed father, mother, siblings. Place of origin, it has Bandle City, it has Ramshara and Freljord. Current residence is just unknown. Okay, it looks like background and awakening stuff is all repeat. Unfortunately, it just comes from the biography and story. So we're just going to straight up go on to appearance. Like most modern Yordles, Gnar boasts thick fur and prominent pointed ears. His entire body is enveloped in orange fur with white accents. Teal blue hues adorn the fur at the tips of his tail and ears. A distinctive tuft of chestnut colored fur adorns his upper chest, forming a scarf-like appearance around his neck. Gnar's attire is minimal, consisting of a chestnut colored loincloth as well as a small bird skull perched atop his head. Unlike modern Yordles, he has a pair of large lower canine teeth that protrude from his mouth. Okay, so that's almost showing Yordle evolution a little bit. In his enraged state, Gnar undergoes a significant increase in size. In this transformed state, he lacks full fur coverage, exposing a gray skin underneath. The color of his fur shifts from orange to a deep dark red. His already sizable lower canine teeth experience further growth, now matching the size of his ears. The teal blue hues that previously adorned the tips of his tail and ears extend to encompass his enlarged arms, chin, eyebrows, and upper back. I really like the detail on that. That's also really really a detailed appearance fact. Personality. Gnar has the mentality of a young child. He has boundless energy, a penchant for playfulness, and an occasional tendency toward tantrums. His affinity for collecting seemingly mundane items like rocks and pebbles highlights his whimsical nature and childlike curiosity. Gnar's attachment to his makeshift boomerang reflects his genuine happiness derived from the uncomplicated joys of play. Gnar possesses a fiery temper. When faced with the arrival of a threat, Gnar's protective instincts and anger emerge, showcasing his loyalty to his newfound friends and a courageous, albeit impulsive, readiness to confront danger. Despite his fierce temper, Gnar's quickness to forgive and his fundamentally nice nature shine through, especially when others reciprocate kindness. Okay, I would love to see other people interacting with Gnar. I feel like it'd be so interesting. Okay, so for abilities, I guess it's basically a lot of the same stuff, but it says Yordle physiology. We don't need to read immortality, Yordle magic, but then we have atavism. Being a prehistoric Yordle, Gnar has certain characteristics that modern Yordles don't have, such as sharp fangs and tails. And then of course we have his transformation aspect. If he gets angry, he can become bigger. And then skilled hunter. He's excellent at finding and capturing prey. All right, relationships. They don't have much here. It just says Gnar was accidentally frozen when Lysandra unleashes an icy catastrophe to bury the Watchers. Okay, right. That's what happens. And then Gnar will befriend nearly everyone that is kind and will play with him. And then potential candidates include Lulu, Pix, Annie, Lux, and the Poros. Heimerdinger may be very interested in Gnar for the evolutionary insights he might provide regarding Yordles. I would very much agree with that. I think it goes to show how Yordles have evolved since Gnar, because they no longer have the fangs and the tail, stuff like that. Okay, in terms of content, we did read the biography. We have seen the Curious Journey video. Discovering the link reveal. I'm not sure what this is. Okay, so this must have been like some sort of teaser where they were first releasing Gnar. Something stirs in one of Valorant's ancient caves. Oh, and it's like, yeah, when they were first doing a teaser for Gnar, I see. And like he came out of the ice like that. Okay. That's kind of a cool teaser. Very old, obviously. But that's what the missing or discovering the link reveal was. And then we have the Snow Day story. We have not read that one, but we did read the Hunter Hunted. Let me know if the Snow Day story is worth reading at all. It doesn't look like it's too long, but yeah, that's just another story that we did not read. And finally, the trivia. Gnar is a prehistoric Yordle, at the very least older than 10,000 years, dating back to a time when there was no massive civilization on land. He was able to survive for millennia due to hibernation and being encased in true ice. He is unaware that he transforms, but that may change when he grows older. He retains his personality as Mega Gnar. The tribal paintings and Discovering the Link depict Gnar and his family living in peace until a one-eyed entity with two horns, tentacles, speculated to be a frozen watcher, or one of Vel'Koz's Voidborn species. That's what I thought it was, I think, at first, but then I was like, okay, it's probably a watcher. Attacks them. It knocks Gnar's family away, triggering his rage gene, therefore turning Mega and promptly fighting the entity to unknown success. Originally, a defeated Anivia encased Gnar for centuries in true ice to preserve him, and ultimately awakens him again to fight the frozen watchers Watchers on the brink of their return. However, in the current lore, Lysandra is the one who imprisoned the Watchers with the True Ice catastrophe. Oh, okay, so there was a different lore where Anivia had put him in True Ice. And then Gnar learned to use a boomerang from and fashioned his after his father's. Oh, where did we learn that? The boomerang is hidden in Mega Gnar's fur when he transformed. That must be in the Snow Day, possibly, story. Gnar is the only Yordle in modern times to have a tail due to his antiquity, right? Part of the reason Gnar is the way he is relates to how he grew up near prehistoric beasts and was raised by Yetis. He's also young, or at least he still has the mind of a youngster, so he has tantrums a lot, obviously. The Hunter Hunted was originally written from Rengar's point of view. However, with the later established timeline and map settings, the hunter that encountered Gnar from the story is unlikely to still be him should the story be still canon. Oh, so the Hunter Hunted, I thought it was just like a regular... I guess I didn't think it was a regular human, but I also did kind of think it was just a regular human that was out hunting. Okay, so that's interesting because on the biography page, which I don't know how often they even update that. They probably don't. On the biography page, it does say that Gnar is related to Nunu and Willump / Rengar. I didn't see anything relating to Nunu and Willump at all. I just maybe because Willump is a Yeti, I guess, or whatever. But this would point to why they had Rengar in there as the person that it's related to Gnar, because maybe that short story is from Rengar's point of view. That'd be an interesting fight. I don't think either would win because they're just both very powerful, but okay, that's pretty cool. I didn't realize that. All right, we actually get to take a look at Gnar in Legends of Runeterra. I don't think we're gonna see very many voice lines here, but let's go ahead and give them a listen. Here we go. Legends of Runeterra special interactions for Gnar.
Pluka, pluka. Pluka, pluka!
Pluka, 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 play!
Okay.
We fight for those who cannot.
Demaglio!
Right, we heard that
follow
one.
the old ways.
Ooh, wowie, wappa, whoa!
Okay, so he's literally just...
Nightmare for every mind.
Oh.
Marmos!
Okay, he's saying nightmares.
Bluebear!
Literally just a baby.
Wham!
Beast of the wilds, join us!
Crazy, he can't say any actual words. What's he gonna say?
Pay down back!
Okay, okay.
I will rip the power from the desert.
Power!
I love his response to these super serious people. Okay, like the marching. I'm picturing the voice actor or actress having to do these voice lines. Bang! Oh. Aw. Gromp. I'm trying to understand any of it, but I can't. Oh. Gnar snores confirmed. What is he saying? Okay, Gnar, victory. Not sure what's being said there. It's like literally trying to translate baby speak. What is Nakotak?
Narboga.
Narboga. Okay, those were so difficult to understand. All right, to be honest with you guys, I have no clue what kind of analysis or I don't even know what I can even really say about Gnar's voice lines. Gnar obviously acts like a child, speaks like a child. That's really all there is to it. I think it's really fun. I think it goes to show Gnar's childish personality as well, right? Because Gnar's just a child and doesn't really... I mean, you can kind of get some words here and there, right? Like saying victory or repeating back what some of the other ones say. But yeah, it's mostly just sounds coming out of Gnar at this point. Gnar can also say his name, so there is that part. But I'll be curious to see like the difference between what the first voice lines are in League of Legends and what we get in Legends of Runeterra here. Let me go ahead and check out the wiki and see if there's more Legends of Runeterra voice lines, but then we'll go right into the interactions for League afterwards. But yeah, I don't know exactly what I'm even supposed to say about these voice lines, honestly. There isn't really much I can say. All right, we got a couple more little voice lines here. So we have the summon voice line. So let's start off with that. Hago Vago. Like, what is he trying to say there? Hago Vago. Well, Nakotak is Chief Nakotak, but like, Nakotak BB Sanapa Wo? I don't know what's going on there. Let's see if there's any new voice lines here. I guess there's the level up voice lines. Shonafa. Nakotak again. Okay, seeing a spell or skill resolve. So we do have some of these. We have Allied Heroic Refrain. It's almost like Sims talk a little bit. This is Allied Pokey Stick. And then Gnar just giggles. Okay, that laugh is kind of adorable. Attacks declared. Yeah, there's got to be like I need a what's it called? A guide onto what these words mean. I'm sure there's got to be some translation somewhere. Blocks declared. Waka Wakamo. Yeah, like what does Waka Wakamo mean? This Wawa doesn't work actually. Death sound for Gnar here. Okay, we understand. That one sounds really funny. No. All right, and then we have Gnar being chosen. Okay, obviously getting excited. Removed from choice. Okay, and then victory. What's the deal with him and Chief Nakotak? I guess I didn't really see anything about the relationship there. Okay, yeah, I need some translations here. Again, I don't really know what kind of analysis you guys really would want from me. You know, he's talking like a baby prehistoric yordle, essentially. Let's move on to his League voice lines. Really don't know what we're going to get here. Okay, decent amount of stuff here, though. Let's take a look at these, and I'll give you guys my final thoughts on Gnar afterwards. Let's start off with Champion Select. So we have the sound effect. Okay, it's Mega Gnar roaring. Uh-huh. Shabba-nuffa. That's the band. Shabba-nuffa. What does it mean, guys? What does it mean? Okay, so we do have voice lines for Mega Gnar and Mini Gnar, actually. So we'll start off with just doing all the Mini Gnar, and then we'll go into Mega Gnar, it looks like. All right, so moving voice lines. We're going to go through these pretty fast. It also looks like they had voice lines for Super Galaxy and Astronaut Gnar. It almost sounds like an alien language from, like, Star Wars, actually. Yeah, like that sounds almost Star Wars. I wonder if somebody had to create a whole nother language for Gnar. Because honestly, none of them, I'm trying to like relate them back to English and I don't see it. Maybe there's a clue I don't know yet. Gnar sniffing. Gnar just yelps when you're moving sometimes. That's really funny. First encounter with Annie. Tibbers! Okay, so that one obviously we know is Tibbers. First encounter with Fizz. Shark. I do like the fact that we are getting some encounters with other champs. That's really fun. This one we've already heard, but we can do it again. Because that's just funny. And then Nocturne as well, we heard. Okay, and then we have Rammus, which, okay, I've had this spoiled for me. I do know Rammus's voice lines. We'll get to Rammus eventually, but... Okay, saying okay. All right, we have some taunts. Gnar drops upside down and playfully flaunts the skull he carries around. Hago Vago. There's that Hago Vago again. Shoogie, shoogie, shoogie. We've heard shoogie, shoogie, shoogie as well. Jay Waitford. Jay Waitford? What? What? I'm so confused. Okay, maybe they'll explain things in the trivia below. Joke. So Gnar chases his tail like a cat or dog would do. And then we have Gnar's laughs. I do like his laugh, though. It's really funny. I feel like I would get so angry if somebody just started laughing after they killed me in League with Gnar. And then we have the dance. Gnar does a backflip. Gnar then performs an ancient ritualistic dance. Gnar's just out here having fun. What is happening? All right, let's do our basic attacks from Gnar. Just some grunts. And then we got attacking. Saying his own name when he attacks is wild. Vigishu. Like, what does Vigishu mean? I think he's just saying, he's just spitting out sounds at this point. Okay, using the Rage Gene. That'll wake you up. That'll wake you up. All right, and then using the Boomerang Throw. Gnar shouts in effort. Gnar puffs. And then using Hop, Gnar giggles mockingly. What does his laugh remind you of? Chipmunks? And then we have the recall. Gnar throws his boomerang and plays with it, trying to avoid it. Finally catches it with his mouth and tries to bite on it like meat. Gnar yelps and giggles while his boomerang rushes on the wind. Oh, I like the sound effect. Okay, we actually have a decent amount of voice lines for Gnar, surprisingly, even though none of it makes any sense in English. Death. Gnar groans loudly and suffocates. These are kind of bad, actually. Not trying to hear Gnar die like that. All right, the rest are just astronaut stuff that we don't need to get into. Let's look at the trivia here. I don't know if there will be more for Mega Gnar, but it says, okay, so Gnar, the missing link. What appears to be childish babbling is actually Gnar's own native language. Okay, so it is actual language that I need translation for. There's got to be some sort of translation. When he meets certain champions, he tries to repeat what they say, but with some difficulty. So Tibbers, Shark, Demacia, Darkness, and then OK for Rammus. One of his taunts references a Riot Games Inc. sound designer called Jay Watford. Okay, so I was like, where did that come from? Yes, we know Demaglio is an imitation of Demacia, and then God King Garen responds to this quote, Demaglio, how dare you slander our glorious kingdom? Oh, that's really fun. We didn't hear the God King Garen voice line, so that's actually, let's hear it real quick.
Demaglio? How dare you slander our glorious kingdom?
Okay, that's really fun. I like that. All right, that just goes more with the Garen, the funniness about Garen. Okay, let's go to Mega Gnar and see what else we have. So we have moving voice lines for Mega Gnar. It's probably just going to be breathing and roars and snarls. I don't know if we really need to listen to all these. I don't know how much there is, but here we go. Mega Gnar breathes heavily. Yeah, do we need to listen to breathing? Okay. Yeah, a lot of it is just roars and breathing. We don't need really any of it here. We have Gnar jumps and stomps his leg with Gnar stomps his legs and breathes heavily. Yeah, we don't need to listen to actually any of the Mega Gnar stuff. It's mostly just breathing and roars. I don't think it's really necessary. Okay, guys, let's talk about Gnar. So he does have his own native language. He still talks like a toddler to us, I think. So I think he still is obviously a baby and talking in his native language, but still talking in it as a baby would. So we can still say that, but he clearly is saying words. We're just not really able to understand them unless there's some sort of translation somewhere, but I don't see any sort of translation that's been posted or been mentioned, at least in the wiki. So I guess let me know what's going on with Gnar in his native language. I'm surprised after so many years at this point, there hasn't been more mention of his native language and or like some sort of discovery of it somewhere, right? Either by in-game characters or by, you know, by the devs releasing it or by fans just trying to like translate it or whatever, right? So somebody literally made this language though. Some dev out there did make that. All right, guys. So let's talk about Gnar overall. I mean, I know Gnar wasn't one that was really super recommended off the bat when I started getting into these champions, but that's because Gnar still has a lot that's like, we know what Gnar is. He's literally a prehistoric Yordle, but I don't think they're really doing anything with Gnar. I think the most interesting aspect of Gnar is the fact that he's a prehistoric Yordle. So there's kind of that evolution factor to Yordles and how they've changed since Gnar's time to how they are now, but they haven't really like Riot hasn't really done anything with it. I think it'd be kind of interesting if they did some sort of lore, I don't know, where like Gnar was super important because he's a prehistoric Yordle, right? Maybe something important for the Yordles lineage or for the Yordles themselves, where like Gnar was really, really important because he's the only prehistoric Yordle. Maybe like something specifically for Bandle City or something, but they haven't really done anything with it. And I guess I understand because, you know, I'm sure some of the other Yordles are probably a little bit more popular, the ones that can actually speak English words and have a little bit of more of a personality than just being a little baby. But I still think Gnar is a pretty unique character. I think it's interesting what they did with him being prehistoric as well. Actually, we'll have to figure out, you guys will have to let me know, what was the first Yordle that was put into the game? It's interesting because Gnar's pretty old. I think he's 11 plus years old based on like the videos I saw on YouTube and stuff. So he's pretty old. So it's interesting that they did like a prehistoric Yordle so early into the game instead of like, I don't know, instead of releasing him now or something. I don't know if like releasing him now would have more intrigue. Like imagine if they released a prehistoric Yordle now. I think a lot of people would be really interested in the lore for Gnar. But since he was released so long ago and with like a decent amount of lore, I think we had like a couple of stories and stuff like that. But I think a lot of people would be super interested. They're like, oh, we're getting a prehistoric Yordle for the very first time. Like, this will be interesting. I wonder how he's going to be different from our current Yordles. But I think because he was released a long time ago, and I think lore wasn't like a focal point back then, not yet anyway, like it is, I would say, more now. I don't think it hits as hard, right? So I don't know. You guys let me know what you think on that, because honestly, I think Gnar could be really cool. I think Gnar is cool. I just think they have a lot more that they could like flesh out with maybe like the native language, or flesh out with the evolution of Yordles, or even flesh out with, I guess there's the whole Watcher stuff, obviously, with Gnar being back there. Back then, but we haven't seen any of the Watcher, Lysandra stuff move forward as well either. So, all right. I mean, overall, like I said, when we were looking at the skins, I think he has really, really cool skins. I think honestly, all of his skins were solid. No notes on any of them. I think they did a really good job in that aspect. And of course, everybody, let me know in the comments like how Gnar. I think Gnar probably is pretty good. I've used him in TFT before, obviously, but like, how is Gnar in current league meta? I feel like he's probably pretty decent. We had a T1 and SSG skin for him, so Gnar clearly, you know, has been decent at some point in the past. But let me know how Gnar is in the game currently. I'd be curious to know. All right, guys, it'll be interesting whenever we maybe get some future Gnar lore, but as of right now, I think Gnar's in a solid place. I would just want to know a little bit more about Gnar's, I guess, Yordle's evolution, and then maybe more about Gnar's native language. But all right, guys, thanks again for watching these reactions. I do appreciate all of you that are still watching these with me and hanging around. I hope you enjoy this. We are going in alphabetical order for these League of Legends reactions. So if you know who's next on the list, you know who's next. I'll just say it. It's Gragas. I know Gragas is not a super popular lore champion anyways, but I haven't taken a look at anything for Gragas. I know nothing about Gragas, to be honest, other than he has like a big beer belly and he throws kegs, I think, or barrels. That's all I know about Gragas. But we're talking about Gnar here. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate all of you. Please do leave a thumbs up. It helps other people see it, and subscribe to the channel and check out the other League of Legends reactions if you haven't already. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.